Good Wednesday afternoon, Grace Trenton folks. Pastor Hutch here. Good to be with you for our Wednesday Word of the Week. I am so excited about this coming Sunday because finally, after many, many weeks, we're going to have an opportunity to be back together again as a church, to worship publicly, in the body, in the flesh, and I'm so excited about finally getting to be back together. We're going to be sending out guidelines about our meeting together. We'll see that in this email and in subsequent emails, but we really want to be mindful as we come back together that we're very careful to protect one another and to protect our congregation. We do want to do that. And I just want to say if you have concerns about being back together and gathering with a group, if you have pre-existing conditions, or if you're at greater risk, we'd encourage you to continue to worship from home. We're going to be live streaming all of our services moving forward, and so we'd love for you to join us in that way. But I am so excited about finally being back together. And I'm going to be continuing our study that I began last Sunday in the book of Acts, and I'm calling this sermon series Seeking Revival. Now, probably for many of us, that word revival carries a lot of connotations, especially if you are from the Bible Belt. When we hear the word revival, we might think of a large evangelistic gathering, some meeting where we are attempting to stir up emotion and stir up spiritual intensity. And in revival, we think it's something that we do, something that we plan, something that is born of our effort. But the reality is that revival is something that only God can do. Only God can awaken the hearts of His people. Only God can bring new life and awakening and renewed joy and passion into the hearts of His people. And He does so many times throughout Scripture. And we see that in the book of Acts as God is continually pouring out His Spirit upon His people. And as His Spirit comes to move in the midst of His people, it wakes them up. It moves them out with boldness and joy. It clarifies and refocuses their lives on the things of God and upon His kingdom. And so we see that as we walk through this study, it will grow our longing for God to come and to move with fresh power, to come and to bring revival into our midst. But another thing that we see in the book of Acts is that oftentimes God pours out His Spirit and brings revival as a response to the prayers of His people. God actually invites His people to seek Him for revival, to actually ask Him and to plead with Him, God, would you come? Would you stir up our hearts? Would you come and move in our community and the hearts of those around us? Would you come and bring power into our hearts and into our lives in new ways? God longs for His people to seek His moving in that way. And so as we walk through this study, we're going to talk a lot about that. What would it look like for us as a church to seek the outpouring of God's Spirit in our midst? This Friday, we're going to have a Zoom prayer time at 3 o'clock. We'd love for you to join us, and we'll begin to do that very thing. We'll begin to seek God in prayer and to ask Him to come and to move in fresh ways in our midst. It's good to be with you and looking forward to this Sunday being together again. Talk soon.